Nigeria Super Eagles is like Manchester United because the last time we won the Afcon was 2013. Yes, with the late Stephen Keshi. So if Nigeria win Afcon, yeah.
So you are saying Manchester
United will win Premier League.
What a prediction!
It doesn't matter how.
Namara Tokamo.
Okay, now. Well.
Wonderland.
The eagerly awaited African Cup of Nations 2023 Afcon is now here in 2024 January. Well, it is the most anticipated football tournament in Africa where male footballers hope to shine and hope that they blossom more in their career. Well, welcome to Better Sport Podcast, and I am Ife. I'm joined with Amara. How are you?
Hi, Ife. Good to be back.
Also, we have a guest in the studio with us. We don't do it, we do it alone, but now we have a guest. This is a man I cherish so much. I cherish him so much. Like, he's in one special place, one corner.
I think we have to get something sizable to contain his head before you actually show him. Because the praises is about to shower on you right now.
Okay, yeah, I
yes.
get it. But don't worry, I can control that.
Okay.
Okay, let me continue. He has one special place in my account, in the corner. There's one place in the corner. Yeah, he's there. He gave me my radio debut. He gave me my TV debut.
Okay,
too.
I can't control that. Can we go on?
No, talking about someone I think I think about young journalists who are, as a young journalist, you want to, look forward to people aside the veterans that have done well. I think Ayomide Sotubo he's there, definitely.
Yeah.
If you do check out his works on Guardian TV, and Afro Sports, yes, and Afro Sports TV, yes, you always see his face.
He's a big man.
Minalin popping. Just a boy. Okay, well, good to have you on the show. I am there.
Yes, and great to be here. I'm looking forward to the show.
As a fan of a particular club side in Premier League, I won't mention. Well, right now we share, the heartbreaks. We go to heartbreaks together. He's a Manchester United fan, the Red Devils. Yeah, heartbreaks. Because right now we are on a slope.
There's always a season for everything. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
But I think our losing has been going on for far too long.
Sports, you wouldn't win forever.
Okay. So listen to Man City, you won't win forever.
Yes, absolutely.
Just
everybody
enjoy
will
your
have
shine.
Their moments of adversity.
Enjoy your shine, Man City.
Liverpool had theirs before they won the Premier League.
Liverpool is a whole lot.
That
was a barren spell.
30 years. Now, they've won just one in 33 years.
But Manchester United now, since 2013. This is 2024.
No, Nigeria Super Eagles is like Manchester United because the last time we won the Afcon was 2013. Yes, with the late Stephen Keshi. So if Nigeria win Afcon, yeah.
So you are saying Manchester
United will win Premier League.
What a prediction!
It doesn't matter how.
Namara Tokamo.
Okay, now. Well,
Wonderland.
Well, speaking of Afcon, before we dive into serious, it's the biggest competition in Africa, and stars, unfortunately for football, European football, still have to go on. Club football still have to go on, and then star players have to come back. People are always wondering why is it Afcon in this time of the year or periodic calendar shouldn't it be something that will come on after the seasons has ended, but people say that it's weather conditions in Africa.
Absolutely, the weather conditions, because I remember over a year ago, I say in the last 18 months, the first thought was to make it June, July. I remember there was a show I was on, and then we deliberated on this. That was over a year ago. And we discovered that period, June, July, which is summer in European nations, where you have the big tournaments like probably the Champions League and all, or even the
World Cup,
things like that. We discovered that period in Ivory Coast is a rainy period. In fact, there were talks about maybe seeding the hosting of the tournament to another country. Because of that concern.
Well, can you remember the World Cup had to be moved from the normal regular time down to November, December because of the Qatar's weather in that area? So
there's no particular standard for when to host tournaments. It's all about the nation who's hosting, security,
The
a
weather
lot of
conditions.
logistics
Yeah, if
within,
fans will
and
be able
then
to attend to.
the weather as well. So it's not so much about Europe being the standard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all about these considerations.
Well, before we go into serious talk, and I know you want to punch on the tactics, we have lots of amazing players in
Yeah.
the Super Eagles. Have some personal, some personal get to know you questions. Aside Shotubo of camera and sports and football, it's these
Yes.
questions are still related to
I
sports
perceive a
and all
setup.
that and all
It's
that.
not really.
But
a
like
setup.
you're a journalist now, and we want to ask like a very interesting question. Would you rather have a long average career as a journalist or a short but fantastic career?
I've not really thought about that. I just want to be successful. I just want to. I'm already on the journey.
Okay.
I think it's a good ride from the start. I didn't think I was going to be
There you are.
where I am now. I didn't think I was going to be ahead of the process, and it's not like I've achieved quite a lot as well. I'll just say it's been decent so far, and I'll just have to see how long I can get to, how far I can get to. But the thing is, I will always push myself. I've always pushed myself, and I will never stop pushing myself. And as much as I can go for the love of this job, I'll push myself. So
So you want an amazing career, no matter how.
I'm not. I'm not going to dictate
He has-
how long
Yeah,
or how
he has
short.
cut it off like.
But
not short.
if
He's a politician, a Nigerian politician. He doesn't
not-
give
they will
me,
not say
he's not
the
giving me A or
no,
B
but
answers.
it's not about that. For me, it's just about there are some factors like time and chance that you do not control.
Okay.
So you don't know where you're going to be in even the next minute, even the next year. You're not in control of some things. But what I can tell you is, for as long as I'm alive, I would always want to do this job in one capacity or the other. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to dictate how long or how short because I'm not in
True.
control of time and chance.
Okay, now bringing it to football aspects, sports aspects. Now, would you rather be a star player in a poorly performing team? Maybe like I can't really use Aston Villa now because Aston Villa are doing so well. Maybe like
Probably like
Burnley, for instance. Now you can be a star player of Burnley, relegation zone, or even in the Nigerian league, yeah, Sporting Lagos. Yeah, fortunately enough, they are in
Yeah,
relegation
relegation
zone.
zone already,
Yes,
yeah.
with all the hype they started the season with. So I would you rather be a star player in teams like Sporting Lagos or be the worst player in a champions team side like Man City, for instance?
Look, the thing about sports is winning. Some people will say it's participation,
Okay.
but for me, it's all about winning. Now, in all the top clubs you want to think of, not all players there are big hitters or world beaters.
Yeah.
It just takes you playing in the best environment with the best talent around. And then
Okay.
you can look back when you are 40 years old and you're retired, 30 years old, or maybe 50 years old, depending on whichever case it is for you. And then you look at your trophy, your medals, and then you say, yes, I did a good one.
Yeah.
I achieved a lot in this career. That's what everybody wants to do.
Well,
Whether-
I'm going to use Calvin Phillips of former
do you know
Leeds
the
and
name
Man
that is in my
City.
mind?
Now he's won everything with Man City.
Everything.
Now bring him, apply the same to Harry Kane, who just left England to the
He was
German
away when he
league.
was at
Yeah.
Tottenham.
He's
I
a
wouldn't want
fantastic
to,
player.
I wouldn't want to be either of those players. I
Really?
want to, yes, I want to play and
also
And
win.
win.
I'm not saying I want to play all the games, but I want to play
Play and win.
a decent number of
Well,
games.
the question has
and
to be
win.
you are either a Harry Kane or
yeah,
a Calvin Phillips.
Absolutely, I'll be a hurricane. Hurricane is
Making
Tottenham's all-time top scorer.
Yeah, second in
And
the Premier League.
He's on course to break a record in Germany already for goal scoring. Too. So
Yes.
history will always remember
Harry
Hurricane,
Kane.
just like it did to Francesco Totti. I mean, was loyal at
To
Roma,
club, yeah.
and who forgets
But if
Totti
he
today?
ends his career without winning anything, well, in Germany probably
now-
it's just the league now and Champions League for
The
for the
remaining
for
for
the
Bayern
Bayern
Munich,
Munich.
but they are out.
Well,
Yeah,
I
people
started by saying it's all about winning, but on the flip side, for some people, it's not just about winning.
Mm.
For some people, it's about fulfillment. So fulfillment is different for each player. For some, they just want to participate. For some, they just want to compete. For some, they want to make money. For some, they want to win all the trophies on offer.
Okay.
So it depends on what makes a player fulfilled, right? So being a Calvin Phillips is not a bad option because he's won everything possible.
Okay.
That
Now-
even some of the more established players
Haven't.
struggled.
Yes, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
the last question now has to be something that came up. I think one time was trending. The legend himself, JJ Okocha. He mentioned something about he rather sit at home and watch the Premier League
Oh God.
game on
Now you
TV
said
than
this.
go to the stadium. I know you watch and you follow
followed
the
it, you
Nigerian
followed it.
league.
Yeah.
You follow Nigerian league a
Yeah,
lot.
I know.
So would you rather go to watch an MPFL game live or watch a Premier League match in your sitting room?
Okay, now hear me out. JJ Okocha was not wrong. I know a lot of Nigerians went at him
Yeah.
and they started criticizing him. Oh, what has he done to help the sport? But
People will be people.
for me, yeah, like
No,
you said,
but I think people from like me now, I think he played in Nigerian league. If someone that never played in Nigerian league
Comes out
say
to say
something like
that
that, I
again,
can
yeah.
understand. But JJ Okocha played with is it
Um,
Iwanyan, right?
look, I'm not the kind of person that will say and not do exactly what I've said.
Okay.
The truth is, many of the Nigerians who criticized Okocha after making those statements,
They don't even have a
They
club
they
side.
don't
Say.
have a club side, and they go ahead to support the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Manchester City. You would even see Manchester City fans in Nigeria already,
Yeah.
and there are some of these.
No, leave those
Nigerian
ones. No, leave
clubs.
those ones. They ran away from Chelsea.
Anyways, they're supporting Manchester City, but you have clubs in Nigeria who are more established, who these teams, these fans should be following and be supporting.
Like Eyimba, for instance.
But they don't support those people. So
Remo Stars.
why are you going ahead? Look, to build a league is not the job of ex-players. It takes a lot. Some of these ex-players may not even be
People
they may
use-
not be administrators.
People use Mane.
Yeah,
Mane
most of them are
recently
not.
just
Look at
had
what
opened the
Nwakano did.
stadium
I
in
think
his
it's-
hometown, and people are saying, "What are the Nigerian ex-footballers, or even the current ones? What are they doing for the league or for
Country.
Nigeria sports generally?"
I think people need to get to grips with the fact that the administrative side of Nigeria, of Nigerian sports, not just football in general, is not something that one person or a few people can control. Look, the league and the system we run in Nigeria in sports is a coloration of Nigeria itself as a
Okay.
country. It's not different from what
What is
Nigeria
happening.
He's
is.
experiencing.
So
Okay.
if you're expecting, it's just like saying, oh, in my community, I'm expecting just one person to make the difference. Of course, there may be people willing to make that difference. But look, it's most of the times political. And the truth is just that, unfortunately, many people are outnumbered. A few good people are usually outnumbered. I'm not going to point fingers and say, oh, Kocha didn't say the right. Of course he did. We all watch the English Premier League.
Yeah.
We watch the La Liga. We watch other leagues. Some people are even going to watch the Euros more than they're going to watch this African Cup of
Afcon, yeah,
Nations.
and that's
So
true.
why are
Very,
we
very true.
trying to be hypocrites by saying Okocha has said the wrong thing? No. Yes, we can do better for our league, no doubt. And also I do feel that perhaps he could have done better in terms of how he made his point, because it was not on the it was
But
not,
again,
it was,
sorry
it
to
was
cut you
not,
off.
it was not on
But
Nigerian
again,
shores.
but then again, you said since that Nigeria is like not the one person affair.
Yes.
Same Okocha was once the FA of Delta State, if I'm not mistaken, Delta
But he
State.
doesn't run Delta State alone.
So what happened with when
And-
he was
and
when
mind
he
you-
was
When he
the
was
what happened when he was there?
Don't forget that it's a government-run organization. It's not a private business like most clubs that you have in football systems that are thriving.
Yeah.
Look, that's a big factor. And just like I told you, again, let it sink. You should know that everything in Nigeria, every industry, every facet of Nigeria takes after the coloration of the society. The league we run cannot be different from the country
Yeah.
it runs in.
So you're saying Nigeria?
Because, for instance,
Nigeria is in trenches, Abby.
we've had I don't know, but this season we've had a case where I think it's Sunshine Stars, where their boss they had, is it an accident or
Yeah, they it was attacked.
it was an
During
attack.
protest, it was an
Yes,
attack.
yes. Thank you very much. It was an attack, and then at the end of the day, people died in that attack.
How?
People died in
Like-
that attack. So why it's
So
not
sad.
it's not so much about. I know this is different from because he's running the club, but you should have an understanding that even if he runs the club, it doesn't mean that he
It's
has
just
the
going to
final
change
say.
it.
Yeah.
He's more or less like the managing director of that
He
club,
actually
and
he might be doing well, and then other people are there to just
Absolutely.
jeopardize
That's
it.
why I
Yeah.
said. That's why I said few good people could be outnumbered. I'm not making a case for Kocha. I'm not saying he's oblivious from the things that
He
people are
said.
accusing him for. I don't know what when the whole thing broke out and people reacted that way. I never pointed a finger, but I never backed him as well because look, we don't know the
Why you
details
said it?
of what is going on in Delta State and in that club, in the Delta Football Association.
Okay.
We don't know. All right. So because we don't know, I feel it's not okay to make an opinion from an imbalanced argument. Yes, it's not okay.
Well,
So we don't know, and until we know whatever has happened, all right, until you know the details, it's unfair to actually make an assertion out of it. So yes, the league, the clubs, the FA, the administrative side of football in Nigeria, and ultimately even what happens on the pitch as well cannot be different from the country which
so
it runs. in.
final answer: MPFL Live or Premier League?
Well, it's good to see. I mean, the game between Remo Stars and Sunshine Stars over the weekend was amazing because of the build up to the game. I mean, Remo Stars
But
pulling up in their
That
in their
means-
native,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even
but-
what
no,
happened
yeah,
on the pitch,
before-
but
Yeah,
before-
attire,
before-
like-
it's good. It's good. I love it. I love it. But hey, the Premier League has been here for a number of years, so you cannot expect me to stop watching it. I watch both. I follow both.
No, but would you rather sit like maybe for instance like Rainbow Stars is playing Sunshine Stars and a match between Arsenal and Liverpool.
This is not about patriotism. Here. Look,
So you sit down and
I would
watch
rather
Arsenal and
watch.
Liverpool
Yes,
than go live experience
Live.
of
What's happening
Rainbow
live?
Stars.
Are we going
it's
be
not to
drinking
say
Star
that.
Life?
Look, I know you are trying to set me up at the end of the day, but the truth is, for me,
Yeah.
it's rational. It's logical. I'll watch Arsenal and Liverpool. Yeah.
Okay. You know where to
The
find
quality,
him. You know where to find
the quality
Ayo.
of players
You are looking for
on
him.
the quality
You know
of
where to
players.
find Ayo. Don't worry.
He's
Hold
viewing
on,
safe.
hold on. The quality of players on the pitch,
Yes.
the quality of the managers in the dugout, the pitch itself, the technology. I know technology is not doing so much of good in football these days. That's my opinion. But also you have to factor in the pitch, the fan experience. All of it will make me choose
The Premier
the
League.
Premier League. So maybe Okucha didn't explain all of this in his assertion,
No,
but I've
no,
just done
You
mine.
got
Just went straight to the
Coach
point.
is you can go explain tire because they don't want,
They
they
will know
want
him
to
what's
hear.
here
As long
because
as you're an
what's hap- what's
ex-footballer
what's
in
happening at
Nigeria.
that
And that's the
time
problem
was
now.
got
Everybody wants to make a scapegoat out of another.
Well, yeah, they're down to Afcon proper.
Yeah,
Yes.
6 groups, 24 countries, and 1 trophy. Who is going to win it? Well, a lot of people have come out to say this person is their favorite, this country is their favorite. But first is first. Let's preview the groups. For me, Group A, you have Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Group B, Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, Mozambique. While Group C, you have Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and the Gambia. Group D, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. Group E, Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, Namibia. While Group F, the last group, Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania. You know, Champions League, when it's about to start, we see this one, group of death. Group of death. You remember what happened to Newcastle?
Group
When
of
they
death.
started well, they started well.
They call police
Hmm.
first. They got arrest them.
You say it that way, but out of all these groups, I think the one that stood out for me, I'll ask which group are you looking out most to expect the drama? You know, this is Afcon. There certainly has to be drama, and you will see it to unfold gradually. But for me, let me mention my group of that I'm looking at. I'm looking at which group will I be looking out for. Has to be Group C that has Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and the Gambia. What about you?
Yeah, I'll go with the same group. Yeah, your group of death is my group of deaths too. Thinking about having Cameroon, Senegal, Guinea, the Gambia. Cameroon, usually they are a tough side.
Yeah.
Usually they have this underdog kind of aura around them.
And
But
one
you
thing I
have to
noticed
take
about
into
the fans,
cognizance-
everyone, where whatever competition they play, be it
Yeah.
World Cup, Afcon, like they have this home support, like wherever they go.
And you also have to take into cognizance they are not a small team in this
At
tournament.
all.
They are 5-time winners of this tournament.
Much than
And the only
Nigeria.
team that has won it more is
Is Egypt.
Egypt, record winners. All right. So put some respect on their name. But also Nigeria's group looks tough too. Not just because it's a Nigerian podcast or we are Nigerians, but to have Nigeria in that group, 3-time winners, Ivory Coast 2-time winners,
Yeah.
Guinea, the Guineas, right? The Guinea-Bissau, the Equatorial Guinea.
Even Guinea itself.
I think it's a tough group as well.
And I think one thing I've noticed about the Guinea teams, be it Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea itself, they have this underdog personality that when they see big team, they can play each other and you be like, is it not this one that just did?
Don't forget,
Like,
don't
what's going
forget,
on here?
Guinea-Bissau beat Nigeria recently. Alright?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Are you
Does-
forgetting?
does-
So
does-
don't.
Are you
I think
forgetting?
there's a lot to look
Are you
forward.
forgetting?
I think there's a lot to look forward in that
In
group.
that group too. Surprise.
You have to look forward to Nigeria facing the host country. So many like a lot of top talent
players.
on display. Frank Kessié, there's Seko Fofana, there is there
Simon
a lot of
Adingra.
players really.
Surprisingly, Ivory Coast they didn't invite Zaha.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Well,
I was
we'll get to
We'll
that.
get to
we'll
that,
get to
yeah,
that
I think
aspect
it's
now.
because-
But for me now, I think aside the Nigerian group A, and then the group of death you guys picked, that also is my group of death because I can't have Cameroon, Senegal. Those two alone in a group is enough to call it a group of death. But then I also look at Egypt and Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to mention
yes,
that too.
that group B. Yes, another.
Cape Verde and
Another-
Mozambique are the
Well,
ones
Cape
who-
Verde plays some fantastic football. At least
Yeah.
in recent Afcons you've watched, World Cup qualifiers you've watched Cape Verde.
But to have
Yeah,
Ghana
and Egypt in the same group.
in the same
Yes,
group.
definitely. And
Ghana 4-time winners.
winners, yes, and the
Egypt
players currently,
record
Of
winners.
of course,
You have
the
some
players,
exciting players. in the
definitely.
Ghanaian
Maybe
team.
in Egypt, you probably cannot call so many big names
Plenty,
aside
but to
Mo
get that-
Salah and
not-
maybe the El Nini of Arsenal.
But
but-
Egypt never made their name
name big
out of bringing players from
From
abroad.
players,
exactly,
They bring
use
players,
from their
homegrown
league,
players,
yes, yeah,
and
from
they
their
win.
league.
And that's what they did between 2006 and 2010. And then they won it 3 times in a row.
Definitely.
I don't think no country.
I don't think
I've
in
done
anyone
Africa,
can do
that.
that
No,
anytime
done
soon.
that apart from-
none of them. Then for Ghana, we're seeing what Kudus is doing for West Ham. You're seeing,
Yes.
we're seeing
Not just kudos.
a whole lot of
Uh,
players. there.
Inaki Williams as
Yes, even Semenyo.
well. You mean Antoine Semenyo of
Semenyo
of Bournemouth?
of Bournemouth,
Yeah.
yes. I can see what he did to Manchester United that day, and and then people always clamor about why do we always have the Ayu brothers as always, but then they
They
are
are oldies, but they are goldies for
they
the
are
Ghanaians.
they are like the Ahmed Musa of
Hmm?
of the Nigerian Super
No,
Eagles.
these
in
ones
a
are-
way,
they
they
are not Ahmed Musa. What those brothers are for the Ghanaians are much more bigger than Ahmed Musa.
Really?
Yeah, Ahmed Musa coming into the Nigerian side, and we are like, what's this guy doing here? But them,
Some Ghanaians will like
Come
say
on.
that Pele,
But-
Ayu is there. These Ayu brothers are
But
there because of
I-
their father.
I just feel like these players you mentioned, the Ayu brothers and Ahmed Musa, them coming into the respective squads is a lot of experience, more than
True.
what they could contribute on the pitch. They've had their times. I mean, Ahmed Musa has made his name. He's a Nigerian legend. I think he's Nigerian with most goals
goals
Yes.
at the
Yes.
World Cup. He's not necessarily coming to be
Play,
a star.
yes.
But what he brings to the dressing room of the Super Eagles during that tournament is a lot of experience. And hey, like he said, hold could also be good because you could come in, walking into a game, and nobody is actually expecting you.
something from you.
It might just bring that level of experience in. So I don't think it's bad to have these people on the squads in the respective countries. I think it's okay. All right. Many
Well-
people have made a lot out of Ahmed Musa is an oldie, blah blah blah. But look,
No,
experience,
most times.
especially in the context of African football,
Yeah.
you do need
Experience.
players that know about these kind of tournaments.
Because when you get into some certain
Alright.
stage in the competitions, you need
Look-
those
look,
who have been there before.
certain players and this is not to
True
any
shade.
disrespect for these players I'm about to mention, but you have the likes of Ademola Lookman. They are still adapting to African football. When he plays
Yes.
for Atalanta, you can see a different player there. But when it comes to the Super Eagles, I'm not saying he's not done well enough, but he struggles. And the same can be said for most other players. Samuel Chukwueze as well. Although he's been there for some time, and then Chukwueze performs more for his club
People say-
side when he was in Villarreal and
but-
even now in AC Milan.
But
You know,
surprisingly,
people-
Chukwueze started from the ranks unders with the likes of
Yeah, but I'm
But
just
still,
making a
still play a
point.
huge factor because people say that he does those out Chukwueze, when he plays against Madrid, Barcelona, when he was at Villarreal, it's a different ball game from Chukwueze was seeing in his
Exactly.
national
So,
team side.
but then you have people like Hamed Musa. They understand what African football is all about. So even if they are not on the pitch at a given time, they can share the experience with these players we're mentioning, and that can go a long way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not averse to them being in the squad. I think it's a good addition by Jose Pesero. I'm not sure we have a lot of accolades to give Jose Pesero, but then if there's one, I'll give him that one.
We are speaking of Pesero and coach tactics now. We have 24 countries now, and we know how far, at least using Morocco, for instance, the coach won the coach of the year in the Afcon Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took his team, the first African side to go to the semi-final of the World Cup. And people definitely be tipping them to probably be one of the favorites to win the Afcon this year.
Exactly.
Now, but then looking at all the coaches and the tactics, because it's not about just putting out the players, 11 players that will come in and start the game. In-game management also coming as a factor. And now,
very, very
as a Nigerian, first of all, and someone that's supporting Super Eagles, they said, let's do it again. I don't know if they'll do it again. But then looking at coach tactics now, as comparing Pesero to the likes of Cisse of Senegal, Cisse that won the with Senegal. Yeah. Now compare tactics wise, do you think Pesero has the call it in-game management and even because we have lots of talents. Let me say, I think Nigeria has the best forward players in any country right now. Aside in Africa, I think in the entire Europe, when you talk about star forward players that are doing well in their club sides, use the two Victors, for instance, Lukman, there's Sadiq, even Murphy didn't even make it to the court. We have the best forwards right now in the world football. But do you think Pesero knows
if you're going
tactics?
If you're going to juxtapose coaches, I think Jose Pesero is far down the pecking order. Because you mentioned some of these coaches already.
Yeah.
Aliou Cisse is one. Walid Regragui of Morocco is another. There's even a certain Hervé Renard, right, who did it with two different countries in two separate editions. I mean, consecutive editions.
Not even two top sides.
2012, I think, is it with Zambia? And then 2015 with Ivory Coast. All right? And I think now he's with Ivory Coast. These are managers that have proven their mettle when push comes to shove on the biggest stage. For Jose Pesero now, I don't think he's proven a lot to me. That he has the tactical nose. I'm not so confident about that, except he wants to pull up a surprise.
I can remember. I'm going to use. I was going to that now because, like me, I was like on the when they call Ochieze in Igbo language.
Oh, you have to school me.
The chair of a king.
Okay.
Like a hen. I was like the head of the person that was crucifying
Randy Waldrum
and said, we can't take him to the World Cup. Like we can't go far with him. We can't even leave the group stage. I was not even confident of leaving the group stage, and then we saw what happened. Before the World Cup started, he shut me up. Yeah. Like he shut me up. I thought maybe he would have done better with the England game with the numerical advantage and all that. But then football happens.
Well, I think Super Eagles hopefuls. That's what we're all praying for.
Yeah,
we're praying for him to pull up a big surprise.
What did
maybe
better.
I wouldn't want to say the way, but maybe better. All right, and that is what we expect now because. Look, the tournament, our first game is on Sunday against Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
You have to win that game. You have to make the right decisions. So far, so good, you've not convinced us. So far, so good, I've not been convinced by your selection. I've not seen you giving chances to players apart from some of your dependables, quote unquote, for him. All right? Maybe I think dependables is not the right word. Maybe favorites.
Favorites.
Yes. The goalkeeping situation is up in the air. All right, we know there's no doubt right now that Francis is always going to be the number one. Right?
Just take it like that.
I don't think we should expect anything different. There are question marks. In fact, over the last even when General was there have been question marks in midfield.
Now, aside, in fact, let me cut you off. Sorry for cutting you off now. Inside is 25 or 25 players.
25-man squad.
Yes, I think 16 aside that dropped out. 16 of these players were at the previous Afcon tournament.
It tells you a story.
And that was under the
Genotro, yes.
Genotro. Zikinotro,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
Eguavo,
No, it was Genotro that
Eguavo,
then
Even
and then
look,
Eguavo took
the
over.
majority of the
Yes.
players in the squad played under Genotro. There are only a few new people in the system now. It's more or less the same squad. And just like I was saying, there have been concerns in midfield. I've not seen you authoritatively walk in and change the situation in that department of the pitch.
But do we have options in that midfield now? Because now we can talk about yes,
job
we
of
like,
I know,
no,
I know, I know, I know
like
you. I know you're
attacking
gonna.
wise.
I know you're gonna mention options or no options, but fair enough. I don't think even for the few options that we have in
He's
that
not
department,
utilizing them
it's
well.
not utilized. It's not used the
So
best.
for you now, like like if you're playing a midfield for maybe you're given a 24 hours or a day as a Super Eagles coach.
Okay, with these players that
Which
he called,
players in the current squad now that he's called for the Afcon will you start in that game against Guinea?
To be fair to you, right? To be fair to you, I know we'll still have to go with maybe Franco Yeka, maybe Alex Iwobi, Joe Aribo, maybe probably coming off from the bench. These are the options that we've been using over the past 2 years
Yes.
in the Super Eagles, right? But there are some options. Rafael Onyedika, during
fantastic.
the back end of 2023,
What he was doing at club.
I'm not campaigning for any player, but my point is you have to give these guys a decent chance to prove themselves in the national team. I didn't see him do that. So now you're only most likely going to have to use what you have tried, what is tested and trusted. AFCON is not the place where you do auditions.
Experiment.
At all.
It's
At
not a
all.
place for experiments. And if we are to go by the evidence of what we have seen in the last 18 months, 24 months, which is 2 years, these are the players he's been using. When Ndidi is not around, what to expect is you use Franco Yeka and Alex Iwobi. And then Joe Aribo comes from the bench. That's what we've
Very
seen over
predictable.
the last year, 2 years, even back in the days of General. I think General even gave a better chance to some other players, but
He got
Jose
a table,
Pesero
got some
Pesero
other players
has
too.
been rigid when it comes to his selections. Before we even come to
More like Ten Hag.
in-game, I don't want to compare him with any manager, but
But
even-
he is.
even-
Onana has always played.
even when it comes to in-game management,
Yeah.
I first of all have to talk about the selection because for me, I'm trying not to be heavily critical, but it's not been good enough. It's really not been good enough that we have not explored other options. The only
Options.
part where we have is in the attack. But look, the foundation of every team is in the defense and the attack. I look at the defense as well. The people he's been using, Shemilogo Ajayi, Calvin Bassey.
Bassi.
You've jettisoned Kenneth Omero, who's the most experienced head in defense, who should bring in all of that experience that you need.
Someone that has actually won this tournament. Actually,
Yes.
yeah.
You don't use them. You didn't use them in the friendlies, even in inconsequential friendlies.
That was
You
not even
didn't
needed.
test. You didn't try. Oh, let's see what these guys. Let's give them a good chance, a fair chance to show what
Even
they've got
when
to
he
prove a
invited
point.
The likes of Apoguma, they didn't really like.
So
follow
I'm
that
not
approach.
expecting anything different from in terms of selection or even in-game management, because most of what you want to call in-game management has been us chasing games, and then
and it's so predictable.
panic button, automatic. I don't see intuition in any of those changes he's made, whether be it the game against Lesotho, Mozambique, or other games
Or
in the
Saudi
second half
Arabia.
of last year, Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
winnable games. I'm not convinced by even the selection. Talk more of the in-game management.
Now the most clamored position right now has to do the goalkeeper
Yes.
departments. Now people are saying Uzohawk, and we saw the three players he called up. Now the squad numbers are out. Uzohawk is number 1. Even in the pre-match,
It's
the
gonna be a long
pre-tournament matches they played, he has always used Uzoho. The friendly matches sometimes he called up 4 goalkeepers, and he keeps on playing.
That tells you everything you
So
need
now,
to know.
and now this
notification
Uzohana,
was
we had
ridiculous.
this issue at last Afcon, and then this same goalkeeping issue and defense issue was the reason why we didn't go to the World Cup.
True.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Now-
want. I wouldn't want to just narrow it to that. It's a team
It's
effort.
just one of. It's one
No,
of.
one of the reasons why
One of-
we
Okay,
did,
one of- yeah,
yes,
fair enough
because
then,
if you
yes.
don't concede
One of the
goals, you have
reasons.
chances of going to win them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Score goals. Now, okay, if your attackers are not scoring, probably the defense should at least
At least
shut things up.
shorten, yeah.
Now that particular area now, Nigerians are like Uzoho this, Uzoho that. It's for a fact that Uzoho is going to be starting goalkeeper in this
It
tournament.
looks like it, absolutely.
Now, since he's already this, what does Pesero need to do to at least, we know that he has his lapses, at least let the weak points be at least a bit, show it up a little bit.
There's
Let
not much.
teams
There's
not-
if we are
Not
being
much,
if we
it's
are
really
being realistic, Amara, in my opinion, all right, I don't think there's much that can be done. He's had the chance to experiment with this team. We've qualified for this tournament for how many months now? And in those friendlies, even in the inconsequential friendlies,
Uzoho starts.
so what do you expect? I don't
It's
think,
really
like I
sad,
said,
really sad for
the
other
tournament is
players.
not the place for you to do
Experiment.
auditions. You can't be doing auditions to Ojuolon Leke now. You can't.
At all.
Except situationally something happens and then
Injury or
a player
something like
takes a
I
chance
think a lot of
and
people
then
are praying
proves
for it to
people
happen.
wrong.
that.
But that is city.
Are you
That
praying
is
for us not getting
that
there?
is
people
that
are
is
praying for it, yeah.
situational, all right? Like I said, it's not a thing of okay conviction
Yes.
on the part of the coaching staff. So I'm not expecting anything different for real. I pretty much even know, although I've not been told anything by the NFF or Pesero or people close to them, but I pretty much know
The team he'll put
the
out.
team he'll put out. I can picture it already in my head.
And it's so predictable.
It's predictable. At least that's the evidence that we have over the last 2 years.
Now, when he dropped if I come to Ife, when he dropped the squad list, then we had hopes of Ndidi and Iheanacho from Leicester
Yeah.
City, and then unfortunately for Ndidi, he can't make it. How big a miss will he
Oh
be
my!
for that team?
I can't speak about it enough. I think it brings the spine.
Ah,
It brings
I use my mind.
It brings
Exactly.
leadership into that team.
The spine.
And I do not particularly see. We've not seen Halassan. It's telling that Halassan Yusuf is direct replacement now. Has not
Yes.
even made his debut.
For
for
the
the-
Super Eagles?
That's an experiment. If you are expecting him to just walk straight into the
The
team
team.
and do some magic, that means it's ridiculous. The sound of it is ridiculous.
So in
Trust
place
me.
of Ndidi now, who will you use? Hassan can be
I-
replaced
I-
now.
I
Who-
do
who
not
will you
expect him
use?
to use-
Going to come in.
I do not expect him to use Al Hassan straight up from the starting 11.
Yeah.
I feel, I'm not saying this is what he would do, and I'm not saying he should go ahead and do it, but I feel that
Frank Onyeka,
he'll use Frank Oyeka and Alex Iwobi on the evidence of what we've seen
so far.
so far. I do not think we're going to see anything different from that, from the start at least. Probably when things are not working well, there might be chop and changes inside the game. Maybe then we'll see Alassane Yusuf. Maybe then we'll see Onyedika. I don't know.
Okay.
It's up to him. It's up to the manager. We're just going to, in as much as we say all we say here, we have to trust him.
Hmm.
Yes, it's,
That
the job
trust
has been
is-
given to him
Trust
and
who,
fair to the
Pesero?
man, because I don't
Mhm.
like to be imbalanced when we're talking about
him because
him or sports
but
generally.
he has been given the resources and the players.
He set a target. He was brought in.
Resources.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hold up.
Resources are talking about
He wa-
players.
he
Calm
was
down.
he was brought in to qualify the team for the African Cup of Nations.
And
He's
he has
done.
done
He's
that.
done just that. Now the fresh objective is win the tournament. I definitely have my question marks around that, but give the man a chance. You have to trust him now. You don't even have a choice. All right. So let him
He's
go
there
ahead.
already.
Let him go ahead and prove his mettle.
One last question for me on the Super Eagles squad now. Now, people, we Nigerians, we want to overblow some things. We have lots of talent. When you think about Nigerian squad, you're like, oh, Victor Osimhen, the current African best player. Victor Boniface is doing so well. We see Lukman, there's Iheanacho, there's Umar Sadiq, and so many players are doing so well now.
Exploit for options.
Now,
there.
exactly now. Let's say too much cook spoil the broth.
Yes,
Yeah. So, are we expecting too much of these players, or can these players at least give us, comparing them to what Stephen Keshi took to last time we won the Afcon 2013? Do these players have what it takes to actually? Victor Osimhen is scoring goals for Nigeria, but can he actually be like a driving force
in terms
to
of
pulling Nigeria
in terms of the
through
talent
group?
pool, all right?
Yes.
If we're to go by the talent pool, we have one of the best, especially in attack. Because I've stated my concerns
Yeah.
about the defense
In the
and the
midfield.
midfield, and obviously the goalkeeping situation. But look, again, talent doesn't always win you these
Games.
things. Talent doesn't always win you honors. Now it's all down to the intuition of the coach. We're spoiled for choice up front, and it's up to the coach to make his choices. Do I want to play with 2 strikers? Do I want to play with 3 attackers? Do I want to, how are we going to play? This is up to, these are questions for the coach, right? And it's really up to the coach to find
Determine
answers
who exactly wants
and
to use.
authoritatively stick to whatever is working in the tournament. Because when you have a lot of options in your squad, it can be confusion, selection headaches, and that is what is going to be experiencing right
Definitely,
now.
yes.
Right?
But we all know for sure that Victor Osimhen definitely is number one going to start
I'm
in
so
attack.
surprised not
I
to see
feel
him
what,
there.
what she's asking is, are we expecting too much from the squad because of the firepower,
players
the
they
names
have.
and everything? That the fans, the people watching, are we expecting too much?
Well,
Or because the coach, this is, he's not that tactically sound
that's your opinion.
to expect that much. But
Not me talk am o.
of course,
Not
I'm
from my
saying
mouth
with
though.
my full chest.
But
Okay, your
okay,
full
okay,
chest.
okay.
Are we
Well,
expecting too much?
in terms of expectations, I think the fair thing is to at least get to the knockouts. Basic,
Yeah.
minimum. If anything other than that is a
Pass
disaster, yes. Anything other than
Knockout.
The pass mark.
the knockouts.
G.
Gonna try went to won the bronze medal in
Yeah.
Afcon,
Look,
and
that
he didn't
team,
have the
that team,
The
that
praise.
coaching crew were in a better situation. They had a
Harmony.
better
technical team.
yes, and they had I don't know. I just feel everything about that team
I
then
think Genodron
was
made
better
it work.
than now. It's
now.
different now.
Genodron
There are
made it
so
work.
many. There are too many conundrums to deal with when you're
This
talking about
current
the
one.
Super Eagles now. We're talking about the goalkeeping situation. We're talking about the defense and the
Talking about the
leadership in
midfield,
defense.
a lot.
The midfield is lean, right? Even without Wilfred Ndidi, it's weaker.
No, we've
And then
always,
even in
no,
attack,
midfield, we've always had these few numbers of midfielders
Midfielders.
always
And
called for. At least
I don't
since Stephen
understand that.
Keshi left the position of Super Eagles, we always see larger number of defenders,
Defenders and
attackers, and
But
then you
that
see like
midfield,
3,
like
4, sometimes even
The
2,
other guys
7,
also
4.
but
But-
anyways, the point is there are so many question marks to make a bold prediction like Nigeria will win the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
You have to consider the level of opposition that we are going to deal with.
Face.
The expectation from the group phase for me is at least they finish second. I know it's not going to be easy playing in the group which has the host nation, so that's a big deal. The best you could probably expect in that game is nicking a draw. I think a draw will be a big result.
Yeah, very, very
If-
good result.
The Super Eagles can get a draw against Cote d'Ivoire. But again, to be fair, no disrespect to Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, you would expect the Super Eagles to claim 6 points from those games.
For me, yeah.
Anything-
Same way. That's
anything
7 points.
outside of that is a disaster.
That's 7 points out of 9.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
if we are serious, and
So
if
at least
Pesero
They're
and
serious.
they are serious with the slogan they said, let's do it again.
Yeah.
7 points from the group.
So at least that gets you into the quarterfinals.
Okay.
And anything from there, look, the quarterfinals, you can flip it either way and make a prediction. You get into the quarterfinals, probably off a very good, a good group campaign, and then maybe you claim a big result in the quarterfinals. There are just 3 games in the
Eguavoa,
knockout
I
phase.
can remember-
There's the quarterfinals,
Finals,
there's the semifinals,
semifinals.
I
there's
can
the
remember
final.
Eguavoa and the
If-
last time Super Eagles broke my heart. They
was World Cup qualifiers.
they played so well, group stage. Yeah?
World Cup qualifiers.
They played so well, group
Yeah.
stage. And then when the main events started, like knockout stages, we were nowhere to be found. Was it Morocco? Tunisia, the actor knocked us out.
Algeria.
Algeria.
Algeria, that was 2021. That was the last time. The last
Nigeria,
Afcon, yes,
2021.
was 2021. Daniel Akpeyi was on goal, and oh my word, a fantastic late free kick from Riyad Mahrez. That sticks in the memory. Not a good one, but don't
Great
tell me there's
goal.
nothing you could do.
Who?
Akpeyi is also
The
one of
wall?
the elements
No, see,
that we
Nigeria,
can discuss
since
when we
since
talk about
I think we
goalkeeping
have to go and
situation.
beg
Beg
Yama.
Vicente Yama.
We have to go and beg him.
No,
Please
no,
clone someone
I
else.
don't,
for
I
us.
don't think it's down to begging. I think it's all about the structure, the technical crew not finding a solution to that problem.
I don't think we can
Do you
find.
think
I
the
don't think we
solution-
can
do you
find.
think
I
the
don't think
solution
anywhere in
is-
the world now we have a very good goalkeeper in
But
Nigeria.
actually-
I don't think we do.
Why don't you think
I
that
don't
We
know.
just
I
have
don't-
to
they're
stick
looking
with
blind
Maduka
at-
Okoye for me. Like I
Nah,
said.
I
Yes.
don't want to agree.
No.
You will never know until you try.
Mm.
But so far so good with Jose Pesero. We've had him stick to Francis Zoho even when he committed blunder after blunder. There's no way
And he has had his
you will
back in
find out
Olympiad,
if
though.
there's another good
And they backed him
goalkeeper.
enough. Do you understand? Because people say call Southgate of England for always calling Harry Maguire, even when he was on the bench. For
Because
But
let's
you need to have-
let's go down the memory lane, all right?
yeah,
If not for leukemia, Kali Keme was a good option.
yeah,
Very, very
definitely.
And
He
Kali
was doing
Keme
well, he
came
was doing
after
well.
Victor
Vincent
Vincent
Nyama.
Nyama retired. So if we had said the same thing, that, we don't think we'll
No,
get another
we saw
goalkeeper.
him. We saw Carl Ikeme doing well.
Doing
That's
already.
because
Yeah,
there
and
was
he
a
had that
system, there was a
presence
structure
too.
that allowed us to test Kali Keme,
Yeah.
and it proved successful.
But for
But
me,
then-
I think the crop of goalkeepers we have right now in the world that can actually represent Super Eagles, the best hands we can actually use now, manage maybe, is Maduka Okoye.
I don't
That's for me.
like the
It's-
thought
it's
of
our-
that.
It's our opinion.
Definitely, that's my opinion.
It's
our
okay, but
opinion.
I don't like the thought of that because I mean Maduka is
It's
also
better than the Zohos and the players. He happens to be right now. That's the safest hands we can actually.
Do you think it's
say.
better or you just like his face?
No, not the face.
No,
no, I
no,
think
no,
I
no,
think
no.
they say they have fine girl,
fine
fine
boy
boy
privilege.
privilege. But in his own case, it's the reverse because
I'm
they
not.
always criticize him. Oh, a fine
The
boy
truth
like
is,
calling
I've
you.
I've not been convinced by the options that we've used recently. I talk about Okoye, Akpeyi, and Zoho.
Ezenwa, some point.
Ezenwa was
Ezenwa was
decent.
It was really
it
decent.
was decent,
Yeah.
but he had a level.
Yeah.
And at that point, we ought to continue exploring options. But what we've had in the last couple of years since General Roy is we've
Stagnant.
stuck with these options like Okoye, like Akpeyi, like Ozoho, and the question marks around our goalkeeping situation, they
Still
keep
there.
piling up.
Okay, now they talked about no MPFL side in the league. Now, so you mean in the entire team club sides in MPFL, so there's no goalkeeper that can actually at least because we're experimenting with that position. So you mean you don't have any goalkeeper that can at least do like Uzoho or better than him? in the
Look,
MPFL?
like I said, there was room for auditions. There was room for experiments. The friendlies provided a chance for that. But
players
the
scored.
coach did not make use of those chances. On paper, you have some decent options. Kingdom Osai has not done badly for
Yeah.
Doma United.
I know.
Olonleke was also one. Amas Obasoji
Amas,
of Bendel
Bendel
Insurance.
Insurance, yes.
Look at Bendel Insurance, a defensive record, probably the best in the Nigerian Premier Football League now. Amas is a big reason.
Even
for that.
when he was not even around, when he was not called up, they lost.
No, when he
They
was
were
in Super Eagles
conceding
camp, yes,
yeah.
Ben Insurance were conceding a lot of
They were
goals.
conceding
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah,
And
but-
immediately came back, captain, fantastic.
You know the point
the
is
same
the
one.
point is they've always had, I mean the Super Eagles, the technical crew, the coach, they've always had this chance to test these hands, all right, in experiments, but they never
Yes.
did. So right now, to say any of these players can go to Afcon, whether or not you want to say, oh, foreign-based players or local players, well, you had a chance to test them. You never knew. Look, some of our best stars, they started on the home front. Yes, they went abroad, but they started on the home front. The last African Cup of Nations we won, the winning goal I believe in the up from the quarterfinal
Yes,
to the
down to
final,
the final.
was scored by an homegrown talent.
Home-based players.
All right. Ideally, in systems, in environments where football thrives, what you have is policies to ensure that local
That
players
yes.
are
Get the
playing.
opportunity to.
In each match they scored, in England, for instance, there's a certain number of players
must
expected
play.
to be on the score. On the
On his
starting
constant
line.
lemon, yes.
Even in your squad, you cannot begin a season without having a number of players.
It's a quota
from
you
the-
must
yeah.
have. Yes.
So why are the policymakers? I don't know who they are in Nigeria, but why are the policymakers not
making it so
tilting
different.
towards that? These are
But for me,
questions.
I don't think it has to be about just because you're a home-based player, you must be there.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it
not.
has
It's
to
not
be
a
the
birthright.
best.
But
The
It's not a
best.
birthright. But
Yes.
again, like I was saying, you need to create room to test these things. You need to give fair chance for an audition. Allow players prove their mettle. Because until then, that's why I said, look, when you said there's no goalkeeper far and near that can actually solve our problems in that department, I don't agree with that because you've not tested. You'll only know. You would only find
If you
out.
pay me, let me go and scout for them.
You would only find out when you
Players
try.
dey.
But have we walked the talk? No. So that's why we are here. That's why we are where we are right now.
Well, last question before we go. Who do you think? Why are you giving this Afcon to?
Oh, two names stand out. Yes, just two names for me. Morocco. After, off the back of that World Cup campaign, I know it's what now? It's a long. It looks like a long time. I mean, we're in 2024, but
Yeah.
but look,
Wow.
they've maintained
Wow.
they've maintained that
2026 now.
pedigree.
Wow, it's
They've
quite
maintained
long.
that pedigree to a good, a fair extent, right? And they've not. They have something to fight for. I feel like for tournaments, when it comes to tournaments like this, the teams that eventually win are teams that always have a point to prove. They are not coming off the back of their pedigree, but
Yeah.
a team that has something to prove. And for me, Morocco, they've not won since 1976. All right.
Mm.
And in the last 9 attempts, all right, of this tournament, they've not also been in the semifinals. The last time they were in the semifinals was 9 editions ago. So they have a point to prove. And this is their golden generation. I do feel
The spotlight is
I
on
do
them
feel
and they
right
have the
now
players on
that
them,
they have the
and the
players,
coach.
they have a coach that understands, and they have
Actually, they,
they
have, have a system because even in the under competitions,
like
they
the
created
age group yes,
they've been
yes.
fantastic. So
Yes, they
far.
do.
Well, Senegal,
working in
Senegal,
Senegal.
I was going to
Senegal,
mention
Senegal
Senegal.
won,
I was
yeah.
going to mention Senegal
as the second team,
as the second team. Yes, because hey, they are defending champions.
and
They are
that was
still,
their first
they
trophy.
still, you still look at their squad, and someone told me this morning, and I tend to agree with him, that they have probably the most balanced squad right now. If you're wanting
Of course.
if you're wanting wild card options to win, hey, don't get your eyes off Mali. Yes, I know they are not everybody's favorites. They are not on the lips of everybody, but they have quality. They have. Don't be surprised if they go far.
I
Don't
think
be surprised.
My wife
And
also has
also,
to be
also, I'll go Cameroon as well. Yes, you might want to argue Onana.
Oh, na,
about
na,
the
na, na, na.
I know you want to mention. I'm not. I don't really tilt towards the hosts. I don't.
Well, the host, the legend of the host, yeah, Toure mentioned he snubbed Nigeria. I'm hot. He called Ivory Coast, Senegal, Morocco, Guinea-Bissau, and South Africa as the teams he feels are the favorites to win the AFCON.
Guinea-Bissau had their debut in 2017, and I do not understand why they are. Anyways, it's his opinion.
his opinion.
I cannot correct his impression.
Mm.
He's a legend of the game, and you have to respect that. But I don't know why Guinea-Bissau is on that list. They've been their best finish ever, or except there's something they are doing and we don't know. Their best finish ever in this tournament has been in the group stage. They've never advanced beyond the group stage. So why is Guinea-Bissau on that list? I don't know.
Well,
Well, for
you said, yeah, you
South
said,
Africa,
uh,
they are a household name, but again, I'm not pretty sure of what they are
Already
doing.
Convinced by
Morocco
I'm not
did,
sure why-
Morocco did well at the World Cup, but then people always say the African setting and foot tournament is a different ball game. You can see a player striving so well in Europe because they're playing against better, I don't know, better tactics. And then you come and meet the African side that
Play
are
ball
just here to just torment your
Play ball.
life.
But
Do
look,
you understand? Now, people might say the last time we heard of the world golden generation, Belgium, Hazard, the Lukaku's, we know what came out of them. They ended up trophyless. So are we not pushing the Morocco squad?
no. You
Actually,
know why
Moroccans don't
I
even have
favor
that much
you know why I
squad
favor these
players like
you know why I
that.
No,
favor
we don't
these
have star
teams?
players like that, yeah.
You know why I favor these teams, Senegal and Morocco. Check in African football. They have the best structure.
Yeah.
They have the best teams.
Yeah.
They have everything best in class. And success on that pitch is not just dependent on the talent on the pitch, on
Or
display.
prayer and fasting.
It's not based on prayer and fasting, as you said, or other sentiments that
Yeah.
people might want to bring up. It's all about what you do on the administrative side, the technical side, the talent pool, the management of the talent pool, and then how hungry. Because I think that's an important factor.
Yeah.
Look at the last
He's
seven.
not hungry
Look
to
at the
go.
last 7 winners of the tournament. There's no team in the last 7 editions that has held its own in terms of domination.
Yeah.
There's been 7 different winners in the last 7 editions.
Yeah,
That tells
definitely.
you a story. So look, it's all about who is hungry for it. Nobody will come and earn it because it's
Well-
our birthright or it's because we are the strongest team, or we've won it 7 times, won it 5 times, 4 times. No, you have to prove your mettle there. And for me right now, if I'm to think about the hungrier team or the hungriest team right now on the continent, it's Morocco.
What
It
about
has to
Ghana?
be Morocco.
Mm.
Ghana, yes,
Ghana ko.
They haven't won it since 1982, and they have 4 already.
yes.
They're like an underdog.
Ghana
Nobody's paying
Ghana has a
attention to
good
them.
shot. I think I'll class Ghana with the likes of Mali and Cameroon. But then when the tournament gets to the thick of it,
Ghana is like Arsenal for me.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's fair.
No,
I
Ghana
think
is like
I
Arsenal.
think Ghana have won this 4 times.
Yeah, they
When
have
last
So I don't
did
think
they
it's
win? No,
1982.
when last did they win it?
Don't disrespect
1982.
Ghana.
No, I'm
I
not,
can
no,
permit
I'm not,
I can
no, I'm
permit
not
you to
saying that.
disrespect
No, I mean
Arsenal,
of
but not Ghana.
No, I mean of recent. At least of
They've
recent.
not had anything
Afcon.
to show for it.
Exactly. It's not about talking, okay, it's like Nigeria say we're the
Okay.
giant of Africa and this and that.
But what
And not
about-
backing it
What
with
about Manchester
Yeah,
United?
we'll-
Eh-heh.
Manchester United are living on history.
We'll see about
that's
Ghana.
how Ghana is like Arsenal, all talk and talk.
I think
Leave it.
I think we'll see
Compare them
about
with your
I think
club.
we'll see about Ghana. But for me, these teams I've mentioned, Morocco,
Morocco and Senegal for me
Senegal.
also are.
If you want
teams
wild,
I'm
if you want
tipping.
wild
Yeah.
card options, then I'll still place the likes of Mali and Cameroon ahead of Ghana.
Well, I think I'm of a different opinion. The host nation are
Ivory
want
Coast.
to watch. They
You
have
don't just-
actually want. They are want to watch.
You don't just win
And-
because you are host nation.
No,
They have a point
They
to
have-
prove.
they
I
actually
think they
have-
have
they
a
have a
very,
very,
I,
very
I,
good
I think they have
squad.
a decent.
They-
They have a but
they have a
when
good
when they
squad
face when they
and-
face the likes of Cameroon,
tougher teams
when they face the likes of Senegal, Morocco, can they nick the
will
victory?
be tested. Well,
That's I think they can, because they are host nation. I think they can get to a considerable extent in the tournament.
Like how Cameroon went in the last time.
Perhaps they can get to the
Semi-final.
semifinals. Yes,
That's
and that would
not-
be a decent run for them. But
To win it.
winning it, going
different
all the
ball
way,
game.
you have to get through Morocco. You have to get through Senegal.
Senegal.
even Egypt too.
You have to get through even Egypt.
Algeria.
Yeah, but Egypt, yes, because they are always Egypt has this brand of a stubborn side to beat, and then there's a certain Mo Salah who wants to prove a point as well. So Egypt is also a top proposition, and that pedigree of being the record winners
Yeah,
would
it's
always
there.
come to play.
Well-
Who is going to be your standout player? Like the player in your mind,
do
like
you
this.
think?
I'm looking at
There's this, you know, we're raving about Victor Osimhen scoring goals,
Yeah.
Victor Boniface scoring goals, and you look at other countries have.
I'm looking out for a
Kudus
couple
is
of
doing
players,
so
right?
well for West Ham.
Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah,
I
he's
think-
doing so well for
I think
West Ham. So
I want to see him in the tournament.
I want to see him
Sehu
shine.
Gerassi
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
he's made a
Stuttgart.
very fine impression of himself in recent months, scoring a
Yes,
lot of
in
goals.
Stuttgart.
And also, you have to consider Mo Salah. You have to consider Sadio Mane. These are the more established names. Victor Osimhen, absolutely. But Victor Osimhen is not even the player I'm looking forward to.
In Nigeria.
Nigerian squad.
Victor
His boxing
Boniface.
face. I
I want to see him. I want to see what I want to see what he can do.
He's actually a very,
Alright.
very good player.
I think he started well for the Super Eagles, but I also think this
Can
is
do
his
more.
first chance of making that very big impression. He's doing fantastic in Germany. I want to see if he can replicate that
That
form
same form.
in African
The last
football.
time we won the Afcon 2013, we saw certain Emenike pairing
Emmanuel
with
Emenike.
Victor Moses.
Yeah,
who actually
even
ended up
Brownie
winning.
Day.
Yeah, Brownie Day. So we have options of those big, bulk, strong strikers.
Yeah.
Quite fast.
yeah.
Now, so you think
And
these
technical too.
are things that last time that I can remember someone said the last time that the band sang the Afcon team song, Nigeria won it. Yeah, I can remember. I'm on top of the world, and now we have
They should call
Yemi
it-
Alade
they should-
in
Oh,
in the current Afcon. So you think
Well,
it's
deja vu.
good
it's good. It's
signs,
good for
signs,
it's good for Nigeria.
good signs.
On that front, it's good, but absolutely, it takes much more than that to
Mm.
win the tournament.
Yeah, just like you heard it. But don't forget, tell us, who do you think would win the AFCON? Who is your player to watch? And say all in the comment section. We'll definitely give you a shout. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at BetterSport_podcast, and on TikTok we are at BetterSport_pod, while on Twitter or X we are at BetterSportSpot. Thank you so much. I remain Ife and Amara Sotubo. Thank you so much for coming. It was a nice
In
conversation.
all these things, it's not possible Super Eagles. When we win the AFCON celebration party, two of you have not invited.
It's been a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. See you in the next episode. Bye.